Einen wunderschönen guten Morgen und willkommen zurück in Düsseldorf. Tag 3, PSI 2023. Letzter Tag, fühlt sich irgendwie skurril an, ging dann doch schneller, als wir alle gedacht haben. Schon wieder ordentlich Leben heute Morgen hier auf dem Messegelände. Und wir starten nochmal in einen vollgepackten Tag voller Talks. Und ich werde jetzt gleich auf Englisch switchen, weil ich den Daniel Rufenacht vom Bluesign bei mir habe. Welcome. Good morning, Daniel.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
You asked me if we maybe can do it in English because then afterwards you can use it for your customers globally. Let's talk a bit about Bluesign Technologies and why you're joining, and why we're talking to each other, and what the plan of Bluesign is with the promotional item industry and the merchandise industry, because we are in a bit of a partnership and on a path and a passion together. And let's talk about Bluesign and what is in Bluesign. So what kind of impact Bluesign is about, and the technology of the Bluesign technology and where you're coming from. Good morning.
Good. So thank you very much for the invitation, and I'm really happy to be on this PSI show. It's not my first show because I've been here, I guess, 10 years ago when I was working for a different company than Bluesign. Now to your question, what is Bluesign? What is Bluesign? Bluesign is one of these little, jam company from Switzerland, like you all know. I'm talking to my big brother in Germany here. We are a company that is doing what we call input stream management. So it sounds a bit a crazy wording, right? What we do, we talk to the chemical industry for textiles, for the dyeing. We help them to find better chemicals, less harmful chemicals. We promote these less harmful chemicals with brands and with manufacturers to reduce the impact of chemicals on the planet and on the people. So the idea is use the right chemical from the beginning so you don't have to take out the hazardous ones at the end.
Yeah.
So it's a concept, but it works very well. It's been working for the last 20 years. And we have a know-how and the trust of the chemical industry. So for instance, I very often hear from American companies that they say, how comes a small little company in St. Gallen, Switzerland, has such a know-how in chemicals, where we know all the chemical industry? It has a little bit to do with the DNA of Switzerland, Switzerland, we got rid of the bank secrecy, but we still have a certain neutrality and secrecy. So in terms of data, the data is safe in Switzerland from the chemical industry, from the brands. The data is handled in a safe manner. And we are very neutral towards our partners. That means we are not making statements, we're just making rating of good chemicals. And these good chemicals, we make them available to the whole value chain. And the idea of being here, that's the question, why being here at PSI, right?
Why PSI, right?
So we are coming from the outdoor industry. And the outdoor industry is very much ahead on the curve in terms of sustainability, because these people or those people are thinking outdoor. They are close to nature.
So usually ISPO is your home base, right?
Exactly.
ISPO is your show.
Exactly. Yeah. I would say so.
Let's think about it. Yeah.
That's for the past. Now I hope the PSI will be my new harbor, of course.
Yeah. We're working on it.
So we take that mentality and this philosophy of the outdoor industry, we take into different industries as well. So we are in denim now, we're in workwear, and we are in the promotion wear. Why promotional? Because I've been doing that 20 years ago, and we were very successful. The sprints and working with universities, working with big corporations, and I'm a strong believer that sustainability has a strong place in the promotional business. Because everyone says, is a promotional business, does it make sense? What is the value of a promotional article? Because at first sight you would say, promotion, anyway, it's waste, right? You use it, it's one way, etc. But no, you can do it more sustainable. You can change the philosophy. And in fact, when you talk about sustainability and when you come from the outdoor, you realize when you go to these 2030 targets, the Sustainable Development Goals, we realize now already that we're not going to be able to meet them. So reducing is no more enough. So Bluesign is about reducing impact, but it's also about doing positive things. And what is important is the positiveness in the whole business, because we don't have to reduce anymore. We don't have time. The time is gone, it's over. 2030, we'll have legislation coming in. You see it with the Green Deal in Europe, that you cannot invest anymore in a company that has not a sustainability report or has not a sustainability philosophy. That's coming very strongly. But we need to do more than that. We need to do positive things. And that's why Bluesign is the right partner, because we are not using the bad things that we have to remove afterwards, but you use the right chemicals from the beginning, so you don't have the impact. So there's zero impact, and you do the positive.
Yeah, it saves time, money, and so on.
And I think for PSI, and I think for this business, and luckily I met you because you are one of the leader in sustainability with cyberware, and I'm very happy that I met you through a former colleague that I was working with 20 years ago, and I met you and your philosophy, and I really think that the thinking of the promotional wear should be a bit different.
Yeah,
it's not having certificates because you need a certificate, because saying, I'm this, I'm that. It's not that. It's what is my contribution? What is my value to society? When I create a promotional item, what is the value of this promotional item afterwards? It's not a one go. It's a long-term thing. And if you think Bluesign, it's a partnership. So when you are one of our we are very proud to have you as a partner, one of the first partner in the promotional. You are partner with us, so we help you to progress. It's not that we say you are good, you're bad. It's okay, we take a picture at the point, and then we take you through the process to improve. And that's important, improvement, doing positive things.
And learn from each other, because this is all about sustainability, because everyone has a different view on what is sustainability about. And we had a lot of discussions about, okay, what does it really mean? I think there is no one sustainability, because every company has this different view, every item is different, and there are different aspects of it. But I totally agree that, first of all, we are already all a bit late thinking about it. We can see it in all the numbers and whatever is circling around in the world. And we have to do even more to protect the next generations. To be honest, it's not about us. So we are fine, but to keep this globe alive, I think that's essential for us to be really able for the next generations, that we give them something good, because we are living on a good world. Our globe is fine at the moment, but we have to protect it, and we are on a good way to really waste it up.
I would go one step further. Our responsibility for the future generation is no more to reduce. It's to do the positive.
Because exactly what you said.
You and me, we are still going to live this, because today we have an increase of the temperature of 1.5 degrees, and you see it. I mean, I'm a Swiss guy. At Christmas we don't have snow.
You have all over the Alps, no snow.
No snow, right?
And you can feel it.
And you know what? It's the future. We had 2 or 3 incidents before like this, but that's our future. That's what our kids will live, and us as well, because in the next 10 years, these 1.5 degrees will not disappear. Right? And we are going towards 3-4 degrees by 2050. And if we are not acting now, I would honestly say we have 5 to 7 years before legislation kicks in. Strong legislation, because you will see who can change? The consumer cannot change, because the consumer has to buy what we offer him. Right.
Yeah, but I think that also changed. If you see what happened in the last 2 or 3 years, I think there's a strong consumer base, and they ask for more sustainability. So you can see it in the supermarkets. So I think you can already see that the consumer, also the mindset of our generation, it changed. And even the young generation, for them, it's not a question anymore. It's set.
So I'm father of teenagers, right? Like you. And I'm so disappointed by my teenagers, because I was convinced, having a father working for 40 years in sustainability, I was convinced that they would go only for sustainable things.
Okay.
And they tell me, Dad, it should be normal. why should I care about that? Because it should be normal.
It has.
But the problem, it's
totally
not
agree.
normal. It's not normal.
We have to work on that one. That it is normal. Yeah, I'm totally.
And that's your responsibility. That's my responsibility.
Absolutely.
That's we are active today. So legislation will do its job, but we, as business partners, it's our responsibility to take care of that. Yeah. And for me, that's so important that we all understand that it's a bit late. You said too late. It's a bit late, and that we have to do our due share of it. And the question is, what is the share of it? So everyone says about flying, flying around the world is bad. Flying, it's 4% of the CO2 emissions on this planet. Textile is 10% of the CO2 emissions. Right?
Just there we can really change something.
We can change a lot.
Start thinking about, what is the impact of it?
Exactly.
Let me jump back and we will come back to that because it's super important for us. And we both agree that that should be our main topic today, talking about, sustainability and so on. But one question, because we are on the PSI and we are the PSI digital part of it. So what do you think about the setup from the PSI? Because I told you, or I mentioned that ISPO, everyone knows ISPO. That's more or less your main.
Yes.
It is still your main show. So
I hope
we'll change that one. So what do you think about the PSI show?
I'm really impressed by the turn it takes in terms of sustainability. There's no one booth I visited here, and I went around, and for us it's new, so we are here with a big team.
That's exactly the reason why I'm asking you, because you're the freshman, let's say.
Exactly, and we are here as a big team, and I have a lot of expectations from this PSI, because I know there are big players here that we know. What I saw, there's no booth where there is no discussion about sustainability. It's always a logo or a brand or something that talks about sustainability. So the mindset is there, and it's a starting. We're in the starting block. Now it's just to do the extra mile, to take it further. And I'm convinced that this industry will have to change, because companies, your customers, for instance, if you take the big corporations, for instance, they have sustainability reports. They have demands. They have expectations from their suppliers, and they push a lot to their value chain.
Absolutely,
yeah. And they push it to us, to you, to us, right? And we have to solve the problem, because we are in the heart of this. And I believe that that in the promotion wear, there's a big future for the sustainable items, because of the companies, because of these external stakeholders. I always say, and I come back a little bit to the consumer side, I'm not convinced that the consumer, the C, not the B2B, but the C is an actor. I'm convinced that society is an actor. So you have, when you work for the army, for instance, the army will come and ask you for sustainability, as crazy as it seems. Or when you have public procurement, they will come with all these things. And the big corporation, they will come. So it has to, I think, it has to mature. We are on the starting block. And what I like in PSI is the fact that you have a sustainability award. And thank you very much.
We are now working together to get it even better. So we have totally changed everything. We are now working on a total new concept. That's the reason why we skipped it this year. So we thought, that needs time, because sustainability, really to think about, to dive it into the details, it needs time. So we in the jury, in the board, we decided, let's skip it this year. Let's take the time and let's think about, what is the new concept, how we can restructure it, because it's now 8 years old. In the last 8 years in sustainability, it's maybe 100 years of change. But in the last, in our industry, so on the last PSI, it was already a good start into sustainability. It changed a bit, but 5 years ago, 6 years ago, nothing.
Exactly.
So 8 years ago, it was totally unusual to talk about sustainability. And when they came up on the PSI with the first award, it was like, what are they talking about? Promotional items, sustain? That doesn't fit together. And I think we have been on a good way, but we also find out that now it's the right timing, because there is a change in the mindset of more or less the whole world, and we have to uplift the award as well. So we integrated people like you, And we have to say thank you that you have joined. And we're now rethinking in the board what is it about in the future. And I think next year we will come back even better with a completely new structure, new categories, and also the algorithm behind. We are talking about it. What is the right algorithm to find out who is really the best sustainable company, item, whatever. So we're working on it, and I'm really looking forward what comes out at the end of the day. But I think it will be very good.
I'm convinced, because the first meeting I had with you, I mean, I was amazed, because I was amazed by the level of knowledge of you guys in sustainability. You said, okay, 8 years old. I mean, 8 years back, it was a challenge to talk about sustainability. I remember my first experience in sustainability was 40 years back, when I throw stones into multinational windows, and I had to go to the factory to pay the bill, because my dad said, no, my guy, you go
That's
work.
not the right way.
You go work.
That's not the right way to change.
So that's it.
Okay.
No. But it has gone through so much, you know.
And today you are CEO.
Yeah, that's terrible.
What went wrong?
Of a sustainable company.
What went wrong?
Because I said, okay, I soon understood that if you want to change a thing, you have to be at the helm of a company. And you know what? I always say that to the sustainability officers of this planet. If your CEO doesn't speak sustainability, run away.
Yeah.
Because it comes from the top.
Yeah.
It comes from people like you.
Yeah.
You are the ones that make the difference in this market.
Yeah.
Because you believe in it.
Yeah.
And, you know, today is still a bit a thing that you want to do it because you think it's right. In 5-7 years, you will have to do it.
Yeah, this
because
is
you won't have any
exactly
other
what I tell all my customers and what we tell all my people. It's not a question anymore.
Yeah,
it is real, and we have to. So we are already doing it. It's not okay. Let's think about what if you can do, and this is exactly what we do with our customers. We have one big customer, and they came up. Okay, they have 1,000 items in the range, and they were like, let's find a few ones and let's change if there's any sustainable option. And we were like, no, we will change them all or none of them.
Wow.
And they were like, okay, what does it mean? And if we find a sustainable alternative, we will change it. If there's no alternative, let's talk about if we maybe can get rid of it.
Yeah.
If there's really a use anymore for it, or we can maybe skip it and that's it. And we're working on it, and we are more or less on 80% at the moment. So we really did it. And within that company, our main contact, she's super hyped at the moment because everyone knows about that concept, about that project, and everyone's like, hey, do you really change all the items? And we're changing all the items. So for us, it's more categorical one that we say, if there's a sustainable alternative, let's go for that one. Whatever it means. It will be maybe a bit more expensive, maybe it will look a bit different. But at the end of the day, it's for us, it's already not a question anymore. It's a must-have. You have to do.
Yeah. Because when you take an item like this, you know, that's an easy one where you can remove all the harmful chemicals, right? A cap like that's easy to do, and I don't understand why we still use the bad chemicals for a cap.
Yeah.
Where you have, I take Bluesign, but you have other options. But if
it can already be that easy.
It can be easy.
Yeah.
And you have to do it.
Yeah.
You have to go for that because it's not even more expensive. It's using different chemicals in a different way, right?
Yeah.
And that's our role here, and that's why also I'm so convinced about the communication that you are igniting with the promotional itemware to say, hey, it's an easy fix. Look at what we have around and do it. It's a journey.
Yeah.
Destination should be 2050, but it's a journey that we have to initiate. And I always say in terms of chemicals, to come back a little bit to Bluesign and the chemicals here, brands, if you give them the choice, and it's an, let's say, informed choice, they will make the choice because the outdoor industry is doing it. The outdoor industry, they are full. I don't know one outdoor brand that is not with Bluesign, for instance, to do a little bit of publicity for Bluesign.
Yeah, this is the reason why we're doing the talk today. So because they promote the idea, and
it's just, you know, you take the bad stuff out.
Yeah.
And for t-shirts, for caps, that's an easy fix. It's really an easy fix. It's getting a bit complicated if you have a down jacket. And I can mention, for instance, Canada Goose, who's a big customer to ours. Since they do this, they have a progression of sales because people say, okay, yeah, there's no bad chemicals inside anymore.
Okay.
That's good, yeah.
Let's talk a bit about the journey. So coming back to the business case of Bluesign within our industry, because that's also the reason why we're here today to promote you in the industry. So how the journey looks like, I think that's something, because most of the time when we talk to our suppliers, because that's a bit of our partnership and mission that we promote you, it's always the same discussion or question, okay, what is it about? So how does it really, how can I get into it? So what does it mean? So maybe let's talk a bit about the process. We are at the moment in the integration process, so we are in the middle of it. It's quite complex, to be honest, but I think sustainability is not easy. So it is a bit of a journey, absolutely. But let's talk about it, what it really means if someone pops up and says, okay, we want to be a Bluesign partner. What kind of partnerships do you have? If there are there any different categories? Is it a difference if you're an importer or a manufacturer? Which kind of categories we're talking about? Because we have talking about caps, we've already talking about umbrellas. So what kind of items are into your categorization? So let's talk a bit about that one.
So first of all, what we have to understand, Bluesign is not a certification where you get a certificate saying you are good or bad. It's not about that. Bluesign is a partnership. We do things together. So we have three categories of customers. We have the chemical industry. So we always say we whisper to the ears of the chemical CEOs that they produce better chemicals for the value chain, right? So that's the aim. So this category has nothing to do with the promotional wear. That's really getting the right chemicals for the industry and getting sustainable. We call them the blue chemicals. So we have clean chemicals, blue chemicals, and we have then what we call the gray chemicals. The gray chemicals it depends on the process that you use to dye your garments, for instance. If you have a more polluting chemical but a better process, you have less impact. So let's park that, because that's not not interesting for you. But we have the brands and the manufacturer. And we always say the manufacturers are the ones that have to do what the brands are asking. Very often. It's a bit for the customers, that's how it happens. And we have to give them the opportunity. So if you come to us as a brand, we will do with you a brand assessment. We will go through your company, see where's your value chain, how you work with the value chain, how sustainable you work with the value chain. And then we will help you to change the chemical use in your value chain. Right? That's after the first assessment, you become partner, and we take you through the process to improve using less harmful chemicals. A manufacturer, for instance, would be a partner, and we would go to the manufacturer, do a first assessment as well, and help them to do the chemical change. So we go to the chemical list, we will change the bad chemicals to the good chemicals, and we'll help them to do what we call a chemical change.
It sounds super easy. We change the bad to the good.
No, we don't have to. Well, I can make it complicated if you want.
But sounds super easy. Use that one and put it there.
But it's as easy as that.
But right? Here say, because we've also talking about it, your database, it's massive. The database is the essential part of the whole Bluesign Technologies idea. Without that one, Bluesign would be nothing.
You have all these chemicals, and that's what the Americans say. Why this little company in Switzerland have all this knowledge in data on chemistry? It's because we are tied up with the chemical industry, and we work close together with them. And then we collect the data from the value chain. Now, that's the partnership. So you're a partner and you're doing more. But of course, when I started in Bluesign 1.5 years ago. So when I came, we had only this partnership. And I said, there's something wrong. We need to have more companies able to join the Bluesign system, even in starting blocks. So we have created 3 levels of partnership. There's one which is called data management, because what is interesting is the data. To measure the impact, you need data. You need data of your water, CO2 emissions, scope 1, scope 2, scope 3, etc. So all this data we collect at a first level. And then you can be second level, which is impact management. That means you take the data, we do an audit, we go there, and we help the partners to reduce their impact. Right? Because you as a brand, you would be interested to know what is the impact of my supply chain. But not all of your supply chain will be system partner and doing the chemical change management. So some of them, you would have the data and you would say, okay, I know the data. Some of them, you would work with them to reduce. Okay, I have them to reduce. And some of them would be perfect, right? Because they are system perfect in our eyes, right? Okay. But you would have an overview of your whole supply chain. And that's important because you would know where and which supplier can I work with to do the improvements. And there are certainly certain suppliers you don't need to because they're already perfect. So you just keep the data. Some others that you need to reduce the impact, you would work with them. And some other you will have to change depending on the tiering of your value chain. So we made the system accessible and flexible to more partners because I want more companies joining Bluesign because I think really if you want to do the positive, you need to go through the steps. So it's not a matter of, let's say, if you want to talk a little bit about the pricing, system partnership, it's basically, I would describe it as probably the Audi, right, of Bluesign. I take a German brand, I better do so. I'll take another one. And then you have the Volkswagen, which would be the impact, and then the Skodas and these Seats would be just the data. So that would be a bit the classification of the services. And it's not a Rolls-Royce, right? Is Rolls-Royce or Bentley? I don't know which one is. Rolls-Royce,
Bentley belongs to the
other one.
Volkswagen Group.
Okay.
So Rolls-Royce is the other way around. Yeah.
Right. So anyway, so it's not higher than that. It's, when you have an Audi, you have everything. I can say when you have a Mercedes, you have everything. Or let's be fair, BMW exactly the same. Okay, and that's important because that's the branding of Bluesign. It's the Audi, then you have the Volkswagen services, and then you have the entry services. And what we really do is bringing this sustainable chemistry into this value chain. And we have worked together now with the chemical industry. We have what we called a finder. So on the web, you can go and look for the good chemistry. And maybe if I get a bit more technical, you have this manufacturing restricted substance list, and you have the restricted substance list. So when you do a test of a garment, you will check if there are restricted substances in it or not, right? But when you don't put them in, when you don't put the bad chemicals in, you don't need to test it. So there's a link between the MRSL and the RSL. So we can say today, if you don't use that, you don't even need to test. So you save money because you don't. I should not say that because we belong to SGS, and SGS is the biggest verification.
They do the other stuff.
They do the other stuff. But basically, we help them to reduce the testing part on the garment because if it's not in, it's not out. And then in the finder, you would find special attributes on sustainability. So you would find alternatives to the PFs, etc., to all these bad chemicals. And then we have another tool which helps brands to find approved products. So for instance, this is a product that is approved. It's a Bluesign product. That means that the fabric has been approved by us and the chemical has been approved by us. So there's two levels of approvals. So chemicals and the fabric. And we have a database, that's why it's called technologies, where you can go and pick the better chemical, pick the better materials. And at the end, and that's for the future, we'll have a new branding of Bluesign products because we realize that we need to be a bit closer to the market with a better branding and with a branding initiative coming from European Union, the digital passport. And the digital passport will have the full traceability because you need to give the traceability of the product and you need also to give the performance of the product. So at some point you will have to say what energetic level it is, A, B, C, D, or something like this. And that's the digital passport, and you will find it with the Bluesign approved or Bluesign product. You will have the full traceability of your product and what's in it.
Okay.
So that's the future. Yeah.
Cool. What is our mission? Let's finish, and then we are more or less done. So we are running out a bit of time already. I told you.
You're too chatty. You are too chatty.
No. I'm totally out of that. You're talking the whole time. So which is exactly what we want to have. But just give us a bit of an overview. What is the mission? Where do you want to be next year in the promotional and in the merchandise industry? So is there any plan for? Of course you will have a plan, but is there any real where you say, okay, this is something we have to, we want to be there?
Okay. So the talk I had on this fair was very important, because I'm a strong believer. As I said, I'm in sustainability for a very long time. Sustainability has no competition, right? We need to all put our efforts together, and Bluesign is ready to look at the kind of package for this industry to see how can we all together, and when I say all together, most of people exhibiting here, mainly dealing with textiles today, how can we all together find a way to accelerate? Because it's all about acceleration. As I said, we don't have time anymore. So let's see how we can all together find ways, and again, we commercially and conceptually, to see how can we bring this industry to another level with the chemicals. And that's my plan. Okay. So I had some chats, and there are some influencers who say, including you, okay, we have to put our efforts together. It's not you do this, you do that, and you do another thing. It's a commitment that we should do all together.
It's a journey together.
It's a journey together.
It's a journey together.
And for me,
that's exactly the right wording. It's a journey, and it's something you do together. It's not that you go that way and the other one is going that way, because we have to consolidate also the energy, the power, and the resources. And this is exactly why you joined the board of the PSI Awards, because I think that's also for all of us. It's first of all, it's a good impact for us, because you have a total different knowledge that we had already in the board. But I totally agree. It's a journey together, and I'm really looking forward to have that journey together with you.
We do our best.
we as well. Vielen Dank.
Ja, danke dir.
Danke dir, Daniel.
Das war super.
I told you, 30 minutes. Super fast, and thanks for the first call this morning, the first talk this morning. It was super nice, and we will absolutely dive much more into sustainability and Bluesign technology. And whenever there's someone going around today, they can feel free at the Community Cafe, Hall 10. That's your place to be.
That's where we are.
When they want to talk to you. It's a blue box. You can't miss it. And vielen Dank.
Thank you very much for the invitation. Dankeschön.
Danke. Das war schon wieder 30 Minuten, auch mal fast ohne Produkte. Wir haben ein bisschen eine Bluesign Technology Cap zeigen können, aber ansonsten war es sehr produktfrei. Gleich geht es weiter mit ein paar mehr Produkten. Wir machen kurz einen Break, wir gehen in die Werbepause und wir sehen uns dann gleich um 10 Uhr wieder zum nächsten Talk. Vielen Dank, ciao, ciao.